Hello everyone, JRR here, and we're just going to go over the quick little prelude story of the Ego Breaker. This is pretty much how I wound up getting into stuff like Halo and some first-person shooter games, which I played off and on for a while. Now this is to lead into other stories, so just be mindful of that. Alright, let's get started. While I was in Saudi Arabia during a deployment, there was a group of guys that would hook up, I believe it was Dreamcast, to a television and they would just play fighting games. Mostly they played Ready to Rumble boxing too. Cool, fine, whatever. They oftentimes had the television usually in the afternoons. You know, desert, a lot of heat, don't want to be out there, so they stayed indoors to try to stay chill. Cool, I'm with it. I'm a gaming type of person. I like fighting games. Passed a couple times and didn't even bother asking to join because, again, boxing wasn't my cup of tea. Still isn't, but I don't hate boxing. It's just boxing games is not my thing. Well, one day I decided to take a stop off, and I was like, well, I'm off shift, might as well see what's going on. And I'm watching them play, and I'm trying to get an idea of what's going on. And after a cycle of pretty much loser pass the sticks, and of course the champion holds on to his, they wound up getting to me, and they're like, hey, bro, you want to play? Like, bro, I've never played this game before. Like, yeah, you'll pick it up pretty quick. So I wound up going for Raging Rivera over here. Now, of course, people were chuckling because apparently this is not a character that's known for being very, very good. It's just, he's one of the characters, whatever. I'm like, fine, whatever. Give me a round to get acclimated, just stay back and let's not hit each other. At least so I can figure out what's going on. Guy's like, yeah, sure, whatever. Get a couple punches out there to practice, hit nothing but air. That's to be expected. Fine, cool, no problem. Then the battle was on after the first round. Second round came up, the fight was on. I got thrashed the second round. Third round, it came back around, and I thrashed him. I wound up winning by points initially. So people are like, oh, he won by points, ha ha ha, you got beat by a noob, yeah. So, six get past the next player. They choose another character, I stay with Rivero because he's one I'm already comfortable with. I wind up trouncing this guy, just outright. So sticks get passed. We go through a whole cycle before the ex-champ gets the sticks again, and he starts fighting clearly more seriously. About 2 rounds in, get KO on him, and sticks go cycling. The laughter kind of shifts from the noob's kicking ass to, holy shit, he's a ringer. Not the case, but that's how they saw it. So the cheers for me immediately became the boos for me because I became pretty much the boss of the area. They wound up having to use, I think her name was Lola or something like that, a very fast boxing character who has quick reach and quick strikes. After a bit of a struggle, I finally get beaten. And of course, people are chuckling like, yeah, you had to lose to that character, but jeez. This kind of became a thing for most of the people who were deployed in the area because they started calling me the Ego Breaker. As in, I would play a game that was competitive and I would do some version of damage. Unexpected, but I would do some version of damage. Then they're like, well, what's your background? I'm sitting there telling them, well, my background is mainly Street Fighter, Tekken, Mortal Kombat, like hardcore fighting games. The 2D stuff, the fatalities and all that happy stuff. Like, cool. Didn't expect you to pick up so quickly on Ready to Rumble. I was like, well, neither did I. I went with a couple things that I figured would work and then used those to deal with the opponent as it came in. So, of course, there was a chuckle here and a chuckle there, and I was pretty much on the roster as an Ego Breaker. Whenever someone thought they were doing really freaking good, they would contact me. I'd show up, knock them down a peg. That was my whole job out there. Didn't matter what game. It could be a game I never played before. You give me a moment to get acclimated to the controls, and I will knock someone down a peg. may not always win the outright fight, but I will find a way to embarrass them and make them change their tactic radically. But that being said, that was the basic story of Ego Breaker. It's short, it's quick, it's to the point. So the next story, of course, will be over the introduction of Halo for me, which will be a little bit longer story because it is pretty much a group of Marines taking on a group of Air Force, and then a group of Army taking on a group of Marines, and it's a whole nother kettle of fish. So, have fun, have a good day, and I don't know, party on Wayne, party on Garth.